Welcome to Furniture Redesigned by MBM. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is the project I'll be working on today. This table, it's wrought iron with 4 chairs. Now, I've had the chairs in my garage for a while. I got them and they are pretty disgusting, all of them. Love the fabric on them. Wish I could clean it, but it's a no for me. So what I'm gonna do is reupholster the chairs and paint the table. I do have the glass for the table. It has a chip, not broken, a chip in it, and I'm not sure if I want to use it or replace the glass. Now, it is missing a couple of screws. If you can see there's a screw that's missing. And I did have it sitting outside this winter, the table, so I'll probably have to touch up or oil the screws. Now, only the table was sitting out. The chairs I kept in the garage. So the plan is to do the repairs, reupholster the chairs, and make this piece beautiful again. So if you want to see how this piece turns out, stay with me. Before I can clean the piece, let's go ahead and take my screwdriver and my drill, and I want to take the seat and the back off the chairs. So I'm taking advantage of this beautiful weather we're having right now. Tomorrow is supposed to be cold, so I'm working as fast as I can. And I'm also enjoying the beautiful sound of the birds chirping. Forgive the traffic noise because I am off a main street in my backyard. Now it's time to clean. I have a bucket with warm water and Dawn dish soap, and I also have my spray bottle here with my TSP. I especially want to spray the table because it was sitting outside all winter. Because my water hose wasn't long enough to reach, I have filled my bucket with water, and I'm just going to pour water over the piece to make sure that I rinse off the soap. I'm going to move them to the sun, let them dry for about 30 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll be ready for paint. Now it's time for paint. I have Rust-Oleum bright metallic paint. I've made sure that it's shaken well, and I have my table turned upside down, and I do this to make sure that I don't miss any spots underneath. I'm going to put one coat of it on light and let it dry. Now that's my first coat added to all of my pieces. I'm gonna let it dry and we're gonna come back and go ahead and add that second coat to make sure that I have full coverage. My first coat of paint is dry. I flipped my table over to the side. This will make it easier for me to get those spots that I missed, and I'm ready to spray on that second coat. I have all the paint on my table. I have 2.5 coats of paint on the table. I have 2 coats of paint on all of the chairs. They are done. So while this is sitting out here, I'm gonna move them to the sun and let them bake a little bit while I go ahead and get that fabric, old nasty fabric, off the chairs. And while the table and chairs is drying, it's time to work on the cushions. I have some pliers and a screwdriver, and I want to begin taking the old fabric off the seat and also the top of the chair. As you can see, this is kind of difficult, so I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the staples pulled out and the fabric off the chairs, and I'll be right back. Now that I have all the fabric off the seat and the back of the chair, it's time to cover it with batting. Now it doesn't look like I have to replace the foam, but I am going to cover it with batting. And I also want to take that batting and go around the wood area. To save time, I will do this off camera and come back and explain to you what I did. And just like that, I am back and my batting is on. So what I did was took my heavy quilting batting, I added around the sides of my chair bottom, and then I had this lightweight batting and I added it to the top. I stapled it underneath, and this is the fabric I will be using. So let's get started applying the fabric. I center my cushion to the inside of the fabric. I then fold in the raw edges, take my stapler, and make my first staple. I'll staple 1 or 2 staples on that side. Use the hammer to make sure my staples are completely in. Then I'll flip it to the other side, and then I'll do 1 or 2 staples in all 4 sides. I'll check it to make sure everything is smooth, flip it back to the other side, and continue stapling. At the corners, I make small folds, pull my fabric tight, and staple. Once everything is stapled, I cut off the excess material, and this is what my cushion looks like. time to work on making slip covers for the back of the chairs. I've already cut my fabric to size. Now I have to lay it down face to face, and I will have to sew this by hand because my machine is not working. But I have my thread and I have my needle. I'm gonna just start to sew it by hand. Before sewing it, I will go back and take my scissors and round out the top edge. Once my sewing was done, I flipped my pillowcase inside out, and now we're ready to add it to the back of the chair. Now I did have to make it a little snug, but that's okay because we want it to fit really nice and we want those seams to be directly on the side. Also, there's screws in the top, so I take my scissors and just make a little hole so that the screw will come through. And here's a look at what it looks like. There's my seam on the side, and here is the top where the screws are coming through. Again, this is hand stitched. Now we need to work on closing it up at the bottom. There's a screw that goes through the metal and into the wood. So I'll also have to make a little hole when I'm done so that the screw will not interfere with the fabric. I'm going to continue doing the slip stitch on the back of the chair. I'm going to leave allowance for the hole for the screw, and then I'm going to come back and we'll put our chairs together. Okay, here in the Midwest it's a little bit cool, so I've been forced to come back in. But now the upholstery is done. Let's put my chairs together so we can get them on display. To let you know, off camera, I took my Rust-Oleum clear coat and I added a coat to my chairs as well as the base of the table. I did this to make sure that it's protected from scuffs and handling. Now it's time for the reveal. But first, let's take a look at what the table and chairs looked like before. And here is the after. I think my dining set turned out absolutely fabulous. Now here is that chip that I was telling you about on the table. Now I haven't done anything with it yet. I wanted to replace it, but too expensive. I wanted to cut a piece of wood to add, but the price of lumber is ridiculous. So I'm just going to take some resin and fill it in. So I'm just going to walk around and give you guys a 360 of my dining room set. As you know, the weather is warm again. We got back down to the 40s and now we're back up to the 70s. And so I'm outside. I'm out of space in my home. My husband has kicked me out of the family room, but here's a 360 in my backyard. Let me know in the comment section, what do you think? Do you like the hunter green? Even though it's looking a little aqua, this is a hunter green with gold. And if you guys have enjoyed this video, it's time to hit the subscribe button. And don't forget the notification bell so you'll know when I upload new videos. I want to say thank you all for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. God bless. And I'll see you in my next video.